Welcome back to the Create Harmony podcast. Let me tell you what we're all about. So at Create Harmony, we are elevating the pursuit of peacemaking, and we're highlighting the voices of fellow peacemakers. We do that through conversations, listening to their stories, and learning about their simple practices. And that helps us explore the rhythms that really nurture peace. Peace within us, peace between us, and in all the communities that we call home. We like to live in step with the rhythms of nature, and we pay attention to the seasons and all of the ways that the seasons shape us. So this summer, we're in the summer season right now, and this summer we're doing a thorough examination of hobbies. We are talking to all sorts of different people about their own hobbies, the hobbies they love, and discussing how the pursuit of these interests is a form of rest and how it can restore us to get back to all the meaningful work that we do in life. Now, one thing I'll mention here is that we've decided to adapt our rhythm of releasing episodes this summer in order to free up some time for our team to explore some of our own hobbies and some more upcoming content. So our episodes usually release every week, but this summer we will drop an episode every other week. And that'll give you a chance to pursue some of your interests this summer in between listening to us. So now let's tune in to our hobby conversation for this week.
Welcome back to the Create Harmony podcast. I am your host, Sally Burlington, and I am super excited today for us to continue our hobby discussion. We have a guest named Melissa Ward who owns a company called Preppy Goods, and we're going to get into all of what that means in just a minute. But welcome, Melissa.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
I'm so excited. Okay, so I said preppy. That's part of the title of what you do. So let's just start out by you giving us an overview of what is included in Preppy Goods.
Yes. So I am a content creator. And with that, I focus a lot on like home goods, decorating, items that sort of bring joy, a lot of Mahjong, needlepoint, really anything I'm loving, which is a cool thing about my job. I focus a lot on Amazon finds, so making it a little more affordable and accessible, while also still sharing some small businesses in the mix. But my main platform I'm found on is Instagram, so it's at Preppy Goods.
Okay, great. And we are, I think I said this, but I'll say it again just in case, because I said it when we were talking before we got started, that this is your actual job. It is not your hobby, but
Yes.
a lot of the things that you work with do align and are adjacent to other people's hobbies. Like we'll start out with collecting and decorating and all the kinds of things. So where do you find all these fun preppy goods, or how does that come together?
Yes. So, I mean, 90% of what I share is Amazon. So I spend a lot of time on there. I've been really lucky over the years. I started in 2020. Um, and so it's been almost 6 full years of it now. And I found so many great small businesses that sell on Amazon. So now I have a lot of people that I work with, talk to find things. But I am constantly buying things, checking them out, and testing them to see how they work, if they're good, that the quality really stands up. And then I share those every day on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, email, and more.
And so how did you get into that?
Yeah. It all actually is my silver lining from COVID. I worked in a pharmaceutical company. I was in marketing, and I was just feeling the pull to do my own thing, have more flexibility. I had my daughter in 2019. She's my oldest. And so I started this on the side. I was in a full-time job for over 2 years while I was starting this journey. And as I went, I was learning as I went. It has had so many iterations. Um, Started with just making collages of things that I saw online. And now I'm lucky enough to get to buy it, test it, and really vet it. Um, and took the jump the day my son was born, which was both
Wow.
scary and I guess the push I needed to do it full time.
Awesome. And so I know that a lot of the styling of the things that you trend towards is
Yes.
very, as you called yourself, preppy. And
Yes.
so can you say a little bit about what draws you in?
Yes. I love color in my home. It lends a little more like I like to think of it as a mix of like Southern traditional, preppy, classic home decor. I love block prints and colorful patterns, linens, entertaining, a lot of blue and white. Um, and just sort of that like style I grew up with growing up in North and South Carolina.
Awesome. It is very beautiful. I
Thank
saw
you.
a good bit of chinoiserie in there
Yes.
and lots of
Yes.
that flavor throughout and lots of color. I'm also a big lover of color. When we went through the design phase where everything was gray, I was like, well, I'm just have to wait this out because that was not something that resonated with me. I have lots of color in my home and that's just color makes me happy. So
Yes, color makes me happy too.
yes, I get that. And so now tell us about Mahjong, how you got into you play Mahjong.
I play, yes.
Okay. And how did you learn to play?
So I took a lesson locally. I took a lesson here with Raleigh Maj. I
Okay.
don't think they're teaching lessons anymore, but they have a resource list of great instructors. They focus more on tournaments now. But I went with a friend. It was just last year. I learned on the 2025 card. And I remember going and they were like, after one lesson, you will know this is for me or this is not. And I was hooked. I went I went wanting to find a hobby. Um, I have been working for myself for a long time, and so the boundaries can get a little loose there. And I was working a lot. I had lost my dad 6 months before. I realized after I had my son, I had a lot of anxiety. And I was just looking for ways to not channel that only through work anymore. Went, took a lesson with a friend. I was hooked. Started playing regularly we're at like a pool tennis club, started playing
Mhm.
there, finally started meeting people there. I can be kind of shy. And so it was hard for me to sort of meet people, and playing regularly opened that. And it also got me out of the house. Um, every other week I go play still. I've been doing it for over a year. I go play every other week, always there. And it has been so much fun. I now have taught my daughter, who is 6. We play Mahjong together. I'm teaching my 3-year-old how to match tiles now. So it has become a whole family thing. But it was exactly what I needed, especially at that time of trying to work less. And I am a mom of a 3 and 6-year-old. I felt like that was the time when you can finally come up for air. And I realized I have no hobbies except work. Like, I am only ever parenting or working, and I
Yes.
needed a change.
We've taught I mean, that's kind of the thread running throughout all of these hobbies discussions is that, hobbies are a form of rest. It's a form of lifting your gaze from the grind of your life. And we don't always have seasons where we have the privilege that we can have hobbies. And I guess some of
Mhm.
us have seasons that for long periods of time we can't afford a hobby. But when you can do that, it is such a restorative practice to
Yes.
evolve and one of the things I like, I said this at the event that Melissa was at the event that we hosted a few weeks ago, but I don't play mahjong yet. I took one lesson and I was thinking, okay, I don't think my brain can mahjong. I was like the opposite of you. I was like, oh dear, I don't think I can do this. But then I've had a lot of people since then tell me that that's not uncommon with
I
mahjong.
think that's really common. I took a 2.0 lesson after I took
Okay.
a 1 lesson, and I think that was key, was walking into a room of all beginners. And
Okay.
not because I think one of the intimidating things after you learn Mahjong is, okay, I think I know what's going on, but I don't feel confident enough to play with a random group of women. And what if they judge my skills? I don't really know what's going on. I don't want to slow them down.
Yeah.
And I found a 2.0 lesson was the best because I was walking into a group of beginners. There were extra instructors floating around when you had questions. And it was a great way to really test out the skills, but you do have to immediately keep playing because it can be a complicated game,
Mm.
um, to sort of get into it. I like to also play on my iPad.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask about that. Did you play out of
Yes.
a community group?
So I really learned on my iPad. There's an app called Maj for Friends, and it's free.
Okay.
And you just have to have a card. So you need your card and an iPad or phone or computer. And it has an option where it can help you choose what hand you're playing because
Mm,
the end game of Mahjong is to make these hands that are on the card. And so it's a good way to sort of learn the card to play.
okay. And the card, am I correct that the card switches every year, once a year?
It switches every year. So Mahjong, American Mahjong, which is different from other types of Mahjong, was is really kind of founded by this group of women in New York, and they are the National Mahjong League, and they come out with a card every year. It switches in about like April of
Okay.
every year.
Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna like it if I can learn the language, the basic language, because it's like all new words. Because I love puzzles and patterns and category. Like I like
Yes.
that, and obviously I gravitate towards things that are help you get zen and be peaceful. I mean that's what we do at
Yes.
Create Harmony. So I think that part I'm gonna like. I'm just not sure how to get there from here. But
I would take one more lesson.
okay, okay,
I
fair, good advice.
and and dig in from there. And I think also playing if you have a few friends who play, playing with friends in the beginning so you don't feel intimidated. Because I think when I was learning, not all of my friends knew at the time. I feel like it's been slowly almost fast now, but it's becoming more and more popular. But with my age group, it was like just starting. Probably because we were all having
Yes,
babies.
knee deep into diapers
we're
and such. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so I didn't always have someone to play with right away, and I felt like that was the piece for me of, like, figuring out where to play and what to do.
Okay. Okay, that's great advice. I'll take that in. I'm gonna work on that. So, okay, I know because when we hosted the Mahjong event at our house, you were one of the people that we borrowed the beautiful, beautiful sets from. You were gracious enough to allow us to utilize your sets. And so I think I remember you saying that you had a hand in some design elements of your
I did. So I
okay.
had my first collaboration with an artist. So what's really cool, her name is Katie Romeo. She's out of Virginia, but she takes her art and sells things on Amazon to make it at a more affordable price point. So
Mm,
she has beautiful trays, picture frames, lots of home decor, very colorful. So I was naturally sharing her items on Preppy Goods, and we started talking. And she said, "Would you ever want to collaborate?" And I was like, "Oh, I would love to. This is a dream of mine. I've never done that." And we sort of ended up on Mahjong since I was telling her how much I loved it. And we designed a mat together. So it's her art on the mat. I helped with sort of it has rules and reminders on the mat. So it's really beginner friendly. And we actually sold out the mat in less than a month.
wow, it's
So,
so
which,
beautiful. Those
thank
mats
you.
are so beautiful.
They are coming back in August. So they
Okay.
are coming back to Amazon, but we tried to make a more affordable Mahjong mat that's still beautiful but accessible to everyone.
Awesome. And am I right that you had monogram
I
mahjong?
had I do.
Okay, tell me
So
more.
so I that's another great small business I connected through with work. This is where my work and hobby come together, which
Okay.
is exciting. But because it's a screen-free hobby, I do feel like when I'm playing it, I still get that wall
Mm,
between work and um, hobby fun. But it is a woman out of Texas, and her Instagram is Bird Bam Branding, and she can monogram any tiles you already have. So she
awesome.
sends you a shipping label, and she can monogram them with a company logo, any design, monogram, anything you want on the back. And then she engraves them and ships them back to you.
Wow, that's so cool. I
Yeah.
did not know that. I noticed that when we were setting up and the team that was helping set up, they saw your monogram tiles and they were like, "Oh, look at this. This is, next level." Really like that. So, that's a great resource to know about.
Yeah. Yeah. She's
So,
really sweet. So that's a really fun, cool small business out there.
Yes, I love that. I mean, Mahjong is just so beautiful. That's another thing that I think is going to attract me to it is it's very beautiful, and I love the clicking of the tiles, like the way that they sound. You know, it's
I
sensory.
The clicking of the tiles is so calming to me. I love it so much. I even started, my husband doesn't want to learn Mahjong, even though I keep trying almost every day, but he has learned Rummy Cube. I don't know if you play
Okay,
that.
I don't play that.
I
I've
feel
heard of
like
it,
it
but I
is
don't.
Mahjong adjacent.
Okay, say more
It
about
is
that.
it is much easier to pick up. You can teach anyone Rummy Cube in one game.
Okay,
So it is also a tile game. I think I bought my set from Oh My Mahjong. So they have Oh My Rummy. So
okay,
they're still like beautiful. Mine are like burl wood back tiles that clink like a Mahjong tile, but it is a number game. So it's
okay,
very similar to dominoes and much easier to learn and pick up. We actually had friends over Sunday night. Had never played Rummy Cube. The four of us sat down and played after dinner, and everyone picked it up right away. So it's
okay. All
really
right.
fun. And we ended up playing 3 games because everyone wanted to keep going. So it's really
Okay,
fun and
that might be more my league. Yeah,
it's an
I have.
easier pickup.
I've done dominoes before. I love Mexican train dominoes. We play that a lot
You'll
with my
you will
family.
love Rummy Cube. And
Okay.
I kids can play Rummy Cube. The hardest part in the beginning is adding to 30. So if you add up to 30, anyone can play.
Okay. All right. Good to know. That's good to know. Is it as beautiful as Rummy Cube? Do you have the beautiful things?
I have beautiful, they're beautiful tiles, and I think it's just starting to gain popularity
Mm.
now that Mahjong is really out there and there's so many beautiful tiles. Um, there are going to be even more, but a few of the big Mahjong companies are now making Rummy Cube tiles.
Okay, good to know. All right, that's great to know. Well, we did collect up when we hosted our event. We had to collect up everyone's beautiful sets, and they were just lovely. And we had, as you know, we had everything all set up in the garden
I
for
know.
this lovely garden party. And it looked like, I mean, it's so picturesque. And I'm not sure that anybody even had a minute to take a picture of these lovely tables with the white tablecloths and the pretty tiles. And we were all ready. And then it rained a little
Great.
bit. And we thought, okay, this is just a summer shower really quickly. Ran out there with some black plastic and covered everything up and then dried everything off. The sun came out. We thought we were good, but no such luck. And so we ended up pivoting to inside, which the tables were still beautiful on
It
the
was
inside.
still such a beautiful evening. I felt your pain. One of my many jobs in pharmaceuticals was event planning. And I've had so many events, like mid-event because of rain, moving people around. I really felt your pain. But as the attendee, I thought it was the most beautiful event and I didn't feel any of that stress. So
Well, thank you.
thank you for hosting.
I'm glad because there were, I mean, I feel like the peak of stress for me was at the moment that people that I didn't know, because some of the people that came to my house that I didn't know, arrived at the door, and we are like in the middle of the pivot of from inside to out. And there was such a level of chaos because, I mean, you know, when you entertain, you want things to feel like, you want people to feel like they prepared. And since I don't play Mahjong myself, I was feeling a little extra level of like, oh, I hope we got this right.
It was
So
perfect.
yeah, there were some moments that I was not feeling peace, but that is fine. I'm glad everyone else enjoyed it. And, you know, everyone was we had a great group of people who were good sports. And, you know, life is sometimes you have to pivot. So we did that. But, okay. So now needlepoint. Let's
Yes.
talk about that. How did you get into needlepoint?
I just started this year.
Okay.
So I was very into Mahjong. It brought so much joy. I remember talking to my husband. He was like, he is a hobby guy. He's always been into his hobbies. And he was like, I love seeing you pick up this hobby. Like, it's been so awesome. It's like, yes, I want more. I was then in, and I still found myself at night doom scrolling.
Okay.
And I just like, it's because it's half work, but by that time, I'm also just scrolling. I'm not working. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just on my
Right.
phone. And I was like, something has to change. I have to put it down. I could feel the anxiety from it. Like, this isn't where I want to be. So with a friend that I got closer to over Mahjong, we were like, let's go take a needlepoint class. So we
Mm,
signed up. We took a class locally. A lot of local needlepoint shops across the country host classes like how to needlepoint. We went to S&J Needlepoint in North
okay.
Raleigh
Okay.
and took a lesson. And I remember sitting in that lesson, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get this.
Oh,
I
really?
was I was so confused. With Mahjong, I was like, I'm in. And with needlepoint, I was like, oh, I don't know. But I to your point about beautiful things, I was like, but the designs are me. Like this is
Mhm.
so me. I really want to make some of these projects. Because I am always in it. I had already purchased a needlepoint kit on Amazon. It's from
Okay.
a small business called Happy Stitching, and they have like complete kits where you can self finish at the end.
Mhm.
And I had this keychain, and I was like, well, I guess I'm still going to have to do it. Even after the class where I was like, everything was spinning for me. And I did it, and it started to click. And I was watching videos online on YouTube and like Instagram reels. And then it started to click as I did it. And I realized, wow, this is helping my anxiety so much because I've put my phone down and I
Mm,
have to somewhat think while I needlepoint. So I've even started doing decorative stitches, which require extra thinking. And so my brain goes totally into what I'm working on and not just like, did I do the laundry? Did I respond to that email? Did I do this? Did I do that? Are the kids prepped for tomorrow? Like I'm just in that little world. I listen to an audiobook while I stitch, and it has been the best. I get really into things. I was counting up my projects. I have already completed 8 projects this year.
wow. That's great.
I
Well, I
just
really
stitch a little every night.
I think you're really on to something when you're saying, like, this is, first of all, it's an analog hobby. It
Yes.
helps not doom scroll. It helps you have something that occupies your mind just enough. For me, that thing is jigsaw puzzles, and I've always
Yes.
said that I use it as a contemplative activity. I don't want a jigsaw puzzle that's like super, super hard because I want it to not be, I want to have a little bit of brain space to think things through or to be, to contemplate, if you will. But I want something that keeps me from just spinning and spinning and spinning.
Exactly.
And I love
Yes.
that. And I've
Yes.
tried a little bit of needlepoint slash embroidery because I wanted, sometimes when I'm watching TV with my husband, the things he wants to watch are either things that I don't, that I want to kind of watch, but I'm not, like sports. I'm not as into it as he is, or they're very they have stressful moments. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are they going to shoot him? And so I get my phone. So I
Yes.
feel like this stitching kind of, it gives me a something to reach for, that
Yes.
then I can be doing something that I'm not quite as engaged in the chopping of someone's head off on the
Yes. I have
yeah.
almost never been able to sit and watch TV. So I've
Um,
always had to do something. And I feel like that was becoming more and more my phone. And I didn't want to do that. I really have been working on creating boundaries and with my phone. Um, Especially as I don't want my kids to always see me on my
yeah,
phone.
for sure. Great
So,
point.
and sometimes it's hard because they know I work a lot on my phone. So they're like, "Oh, you're working," and then I start to feel guilty where I'm like, sometimes I'm not working. So now they watch me needlepoint. My daughter's learning cross stitch. I guess I've been bringing her into all my hobbies. um, which and so like the other day I was needlepointing and she was working on a like kids cross stitch kit at the same time,
That's
which was
awesome.
really fun.
Yeah. So do you do other needlepoint, cross stitch, other stitching?
No, so I'm actually a textile major who
Okay.
does not know how to sew. I went to the NC State Textile School for fashion and branding, merchandising, never picked up sewing. Um, I remember I told my mom who can sew I was going to pick up needlepoint, and she was like, "Oh, really? Do you think you're going to like it?" I was like, "We'll see." But it has been my favorite, but I haven't tried anything else yet.
Okay. Okay. Well, you can just start there. No pressure. I
Yes,
just
yes.
wondered if you were into other things.
No, no, that's
Okay, so I want to circle back to, you said your husband is really into hobbies, and
yes.
what are his hobbies? Just curious.
Oh gosh. I mean, he loves to hunt, which has its own hobbies. He loves cars. He loves things that gadgets, things that move. He's just
Okay.
very into hobbies, pickleball, tennis, lots of
Awesome.
hobbies,
Yes, my
all the
husband.
hobbies.
Yeah, my husband loves hobbies too. His are mostly physical. He works out and he does pickleball and he
Yes.
runs, and his are, he loves to move a lot more than
I've
I do.
I tried to pick up pickleball. tennis and pickleball, I took lessons, and both I was just like, this isn't the joy. I'm not finding the joy.
Mm-mm.
I
Yeah,
really wanted to meet people though, and that's where Mahjong came in for
yeah. I think both mahjong and pickleball have great community aspects,
me.
which is really important.
And needlepoint does have community aspects now. There's stitch clubs all over. So both Raleigh and Durham have stitch clubs. I haven't been to one yet, but I have thought, oh, I need to do that because sometimes they'll like rent out a movie theater
Hmm.
and leave the lights on and they'll all stitch and watch like a fun, like Legally Blonde movie. I'm like, that would
Oh,
be so
that's
fun.
fun.
Isn't that
That's
fun?
really funny.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that idea because I mean, I could do that. So I know that I think that you said when you were at our event, our mahjong event, that your husband had originally been planning a man cave and it made a bit of a
Yes.
transformation. So can you tell us about that?
Yes. So we have a downstairs room that's like a probably meant to be a formal living room. The former owners had like huge bookcases. We always called it the library. And he was like, this is going to be my room. It's like, has dark green grass cloth wallpaper. And he was envisioning, a chair. He loves to read. He's a big reader in his hobbies. And I was like, yeah, that'll be your room. That'll be your room. And then I started to get into Mahjong. And I was like, oh, well, could be a game room. He loves
There we go.
chess. He has a chess table in there. It's still in there. Um, and then I discovered automatic mahjong tables. So I bought one from Amazon, which is where work and play blend. So I now have two mahjong tables set up in there at all times. One is automatic. It shuffles the tiles for you and builds the walls for you. So it makes games really fast. And then I have a traditional table set up because I have my mat out and my monogram tiles. So I have a mahjong room, and I just needle pointed a sign for that room that says Le Club Maj that I just framed and I'm putting in there.
Look at that. All of your hobbies
All of
converging.
the hobbies in one room.
And I feel like you could probably allow him to play a little rummy cube in there.
We played Rummy Cube in there with our friends the other
Okay.
day.
Yeah.
He still has a whole bookcase full of books, but he said he had them all divided on, I think there's like 5 shelves in there, and he had only 2 shelves full of his books, separated how he wanted them to. And one day I moved them and displayed them all in my home decor hobby. And he was like, I
Yes.
can't find the books anymore.
Where are those books?
I
Yeah, I get
was
it.
like, they're all here.
Yeah. They're just now in a rainbow or something
They're
more
now
beautiful.
categorized in a different way.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so if people want to find you, you are Preppy Good. Tell us how they can
Yes.
find you.
So I have a website,
Okay.
preppygoods.com.
Okay.
I'm most active on Instagram, so at Preppy Goods, but then you can also find me at Preppy Goods on Facebook, at Preppy Goods on TikTok. I have an email newsletter, so that sends out a few things if someone doesn't have social media. Um, Sends out a few every week. Those are probably the best ways to find me. I'm also on Pinterest.
Awesome. Okay. So just at Preppy Goods, lots of different places.
Lots,
That's
lots of different places. Constantly, mostly focused on home, but a lot of mahjong and needlepoint because I tend to just share things that make me really happy.
yeah, absolutely. Is there anything, this is a question that I've started asking my guests lately. Is there anything that we missed in our conversation that you had thought about and you wanted to talk about, or that you want to emphasize about your hobbies or your business that overlaps with hobbies?
So I think the one thing I wanted to make sure I touched on were a couple of small businesses that are good if you're starting out in both hobbies.
Great.
So if
Would love
someone
that.
was brand new to it, like what should they do? I think looking for local lessons. And I talked about Raleigh Maj, and they have a list of instructors, but also a good way to learn for the family is a company called Mini Majers.
Okay.
So they're available on Amazon. They also have a website. And that's how I taught my 6-year-old. So we play, it's a little easier to get started. And I think it's good for beginners who want to get started and kids
Okay.
and family night. Um, they they even now have strips that are matching. So you can teach your 3-year-old who can play at the same time with his strips as you play with a card.
Oh, cool.
So it gets everyone involved together. So I love that company. And then for needlepoint, there's 2 great companies for beginners. They kit specifically to beginners. And that one is local. They're called Poppy Monk
Okay.
Needlepoint. And then there's another great company, Georgie and Lottie. And Georgie and Lottie has great videos if you want to learn how to needlepoint as well. But their canvases are all very beginner friendly. The easiest way to know if a canvas is beginner friendly is that it only has a couple of colors.
Okay.
You don't want to start with a canvas that has like 10 colors because that is much harder.
Okay. That gets a little complicated.
It's a little complicated.
Okay. I love that. Well, those are great tips. I need to note a few of those things myself. And one of the things I like is the one that you talked about where you could play with your family. That's great because then
Yes.
you could have family game night and involve your kids. I mean, it becomes a really good family bonding activity and you
Yes.
can enjoy your hobby at the same time.
Same time. Yes. So we are big fans of mini Mahjong. So we all play mini Mahjong. That's how I got my mom back into Mahjong. And now she goes and plays with people. So it's a really great way to start.
Perfect. That's great. Well, thank you. This has been so informative for me, and I'm excited about. What I'm taking away from this conversation is that I need to try a 2.0 lesson and see if I can maybe baby steps in that direction, or maybe just some Rummy Cube. Maybe we could start with
Yes.
that. I don't know.
I want to hear what you think about Remy Q.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. So thank you. Thank you for joining us today and sharing all this great information. We really have loved having you.
Yes. Thanks so much for having me. I really loved it.
Hope you enjoyed our conversation today. Here at Create Harmony, we are committed to peacemaking. We are elevating conversations that help people refresh their lives and soothe their souls. And on that note, I need to remind you about our Peaceful Pathways box. Y'all, the summer box is here and it is chock full of playful summer goodness that you are not going to want to miss. In each box, there's a link to 5 guided meditations, and some of the themes for summer are a walk through the farmer's market, running through the sprinkler in a playful way, or resting in the cool shade. And these meditations give you just enough things to keep your mind busy so that you step away from your life and calm yourself. And also in each box, there are other fun goodies that are provided by Petal and Pink Mental Wellness Boutique. So let me get you excited about what that is. What's in the summer box? What you will receive is a little mini watercoloring kit that is strawberry themed, that has all the paints and everything you need with it. So you can just take a little time, do a little craft. It's calming and very peaceful. You'll also receive a summer garnish trio, and this is for your summer drinks. There's 3 little jars with 3 different flavors. You can add them to your water, make infused water. You can add them to your mocktails. You could put it in a cocktail, and it just elevates the moment a little bit and makes your summer drinks extra special. There's also in the box what we're calling a take a breath jar, and that is what that is. It's like a glass jar, it has a lid. You take the lid off and there are wool balls in there that have a scent, a very calming scent. So anytime your life is just getting out of hand, you could get that jar, take the lid off, and just take some deep breaths and just breathe in that calming aroma. And it's just a way of aromatherapy and just relaxing your nervous system. So you could get a take a breath jar. And then the last thing you get are some little notes that have ladybugs on them. The envelopes have tomatoes. So they're very summery themed. If you just need to jot a note to a friend, they're tiny, like about the size of a business card. So a quick little note that you could jot or drop it in a gift or something like that. Just a neat addition to all the goodness in that summer box. Now, I also want to tell you one thing about our summer box. We've been doing this as a subscription, so you had to subscribe for all of the other boxes. You don't have to do that now. You can just buy one box. If you want to just sample the summer box, you just buy that one box. And then if you like it, you could certainly subscribe and get one every quarter, but a subscription is not required. So just give it a try, check it out, see what you think. I'm sure it is going to bless your summer in more ways than you can imagine. If you want more information about that, you can go to mycreateharmony.com and look for Peaceful Pathways box, and that's where you'll find it. And until next time, peace.